box. I've heard that the Traveler isn't very talkative, but given how chatty you are, you must be her voice, right?
That sounds awful! Heimat's not somebody's voice! Heimat's emergency food!
Huh?
Someone concerned about my safety? Then it must be Ryuji, right? I suppose if you insist. Alright, I'll accompany you back to the police station first. We can discuss the issue of Watatsumi Island later.
Several years ago, a terrible murder took place in the police station. I was still working at the Tenryo Commission then, and the victim was actually my dear boss. Due to various factors, I was deemed to be the top suspect, which is why it's called the Ryuji case. Also, Hazel wasn't a part of the police station back then. He was a detective at the agency, which at the time was called the Bonton Sango and Heizo Detective Agency.
Ah. 20 minutes later or so, finally able to come back here and do this.
First,
We need to
I
finish
joined
this.
the police station long after that murder case happened, and it had nothing to do with any inside investigation. That's just somebody's wishful thinking. Second, purely out of curiosity, I did investigate the case later from within the police station. My conclusion was that the suspect Sango had caught was in fact the real murderer. And lastly, when Sango didn't buy my conclusion and asked me to disclose all related case files from the police station, I did exactly as she asked. I didn't hide anything.
Huh. He's lying right through his teeth.
That's it. I want this to end once and for all. Since the Traveler's my supervisor today, they have complete access to all the police station's files. If she's willing to help re-examine the case and arrives at the same conclusion that I did, then you won't have to doubt me anymore.
Whoa. Huh?
Unless you don't trust the Traveler. Come on, say it.
It's not about whether the Traveler's trustworthy. I'm just wondering if you will interfere somehow.
The thought never even crossed my mind.
You have to swear that you will not mislead the Traveler by any means, and let her investigate the truth on her own.
No problem. Cross my heart, hope to die.
Well, Traveler, are you willing to help me with this? Will you agree to re-examine the Ryuji case and find the truth? You can bill me later for however much you'd like as compensation.
You know, if this... part of me worries that this is going to be a very long hangout and that this passes an hour. This is why I should not be talking about it
Sango,
and just be going.
really? However much they want?
Money is valuable, no doubt. But pursuing the truth is the reason I started this agency. The Ryuji case is the only case I failed to solve. I am willing to give you anything.
No need. A simple thank you will be enough. I'll do my best.
All right. I'm counting on you, Traveler. You hear that, Detective Shikanoin? Ha! Now we just need to wait and see.
All right, I got it. No need to keep yammering like that. You'll scare the kids next door. Come on, let's go back to the police station.
This stupid little rivalry thingy, well, not rivalry, just this stupid little anger should probably be dialed down
Traveler,
trying to do this.
I believe you can find out the truth. That Shikanoin is hiding something. I just know it.
Sango and Detective Heizo are both great people, but when they're together, only arguing ensues.
Oh, suck it up, Ryuji.
Trying to do this? No, she's really not doing this for Ryuji at all. It kind of just feels like, yeah, it's all just her wanting to be like, oh, I didn't fail the case. He's hiding something. Like, what? It's kind of a little selfish, in my opinion. The one who is more of the victim in this case is the one who has to stand by and kind of keep them from fucking hitting each other.
Alright, hang out here for a sec. I need to go to the archives to get the case files. For now, why don't you go and chat with Yoriki Owada over there? He worked on this case too back in the day.
You seem to really want me to look into this.
No, you misunderstand. It's not that I want you to look into this. It's just that you're the only one who can. You're the only one I can think of who Sango would ever believe. She trusts in both your qualities and abilities, so I hope your findings can finally convince her and put an end to this whole thing. Sure, she's just writing complaint letters for now, but who knows what she'll do in the future. Alright, I'll go get those case files. You go ahead and talk to Yoriki Owada for a while.
Okay.
Oh, hello there.
Heiso sent me to talk to you about the Ryuji case.
The Ryuji case. So you want to reinvestigate that one? That was several years ago now, but I still remember it clearly. It's pretty hard to forget something like that, especially when the victim was the head of this police station. His name was Takatsukasa Isamu, the younger brother of Takatsukasa Susumu, head of the Takatsukasa clan. He was really one of a kind. Decisive, brave, and smart. He was much younger than me, and already had quite a reputation. I'm sure he would have gone far in the Tenryou Commission, if only he was still alive. What a shame. Who would have guessed someone was plotting against him?
They said Ryuji was the top suspect.
People will believe anything they hear. Everyone in the police station knew that Ryuji saw Takatsukasa Isamu like a father. Ryuji was an orphan, you know. Before he joined the station, he had been taking odd jobs here and there. It was Isamu who really took him under his wing. Ryuji was simple and not particularly bright, but he was very loyal to those who treated him well. He's also hardworking. Isamu must have seen these qualities in him and decided to keep Ryuji by his side. Ryuji worked with him for years after that, and was even promoted to be his personal assistant. Do you really think Ryuji would do anything to harm him?
That's a mistake.
Well, here comes the interesting part of the case. Within a week, and before all the loose ends had even been tied up, Ryuji received his conviction. Moreover, it was signed by Madame Kujo Sara.
That's forgery.
What? Why would Sara do something like that?
What do you think, Owada?
I'm getting older now, and my eyesight is poor. I can't see too clearly anymore.
Hey, come on, Yoriki Owada, there's nothing to see. It's obvious that the Kujo clan did it.
You can't just go around saying things like that, Wisuki. Those were just hearsay. There was no evidence.
That's not true. Traveler, you may be unaware that the Takatsukasa clan has always been assisting the Kujo clan in the Tenryou Commission. But who doesn't want to be the boss, right? And Takatsukasa Isamu was the key figure for the Takatsukasa clan to bring down the Kujo clan. At that time, no one was held in higher regard than Isamu. So, naturally, the Kujo clan saw him as a potential threat. Kujo Takayuki must have been planning it all along, that rascal. Takayuki is able to control the Takatsukasa clan as long as he's in power. But by the time he retires, Isamu would have been at the apex of his political power, while Masahito and Kamaji of the Kujo clan would still have been too young. The two of them wouldn't stand a chance against Isamu. You think Kujo Takayuki would simply sit back while Isamu gained traction? So he decided to strike first.
You youngsters and your conspiracy theories.
No, it's true. It's the only way to explain it. Otherwise, why would an impartial person like Madame Kujo Sara sign Ryuji's conviction so quickly? They had to find a scapegoat to pacify the Takatsukasa clan, so Kujo Takayuki must have told her to sign it immediately. I'm not accusing Madame Kujo Sara of anything, mind you. I respect her very much, but maybe she had no other choice.
What do you know? I'm sure Madame Kujo Sara must have had her own reasons.
What about the real murderer who was later caught by Sango?
The guy was a forensic expert who worked in the station named Shiroyama. I have to admit, he wasn't easy to track down. That Sango really is something, though. She caught him without even breaking a sweat. It turned out that after poisoning Isamu, Shiroyama secretly took the poison to Ryuji's place in order to frame him. Later on, the poison was also found in the forensic office, but that was already after Shiroyama's death. He confessed everything in a testament.
That's right. He hung himself in the forensic office not long after Sango was on his trail. Probably because he knew...
It's a kid's game when we're talking about murder and suicide.
Of course. He didn't admit whether he had been prompted by Kujo Takayuki. He took the responsibility alone. I bet Kujo Takayuki promised him a sizable compensation. After all, Shiroyama had a family to feed.
There you go again, pulling conclusions out of thin air. There wasn't any evidence of that at all.
Listen, I can almost guarantee that it was the Takatsukasa clan who invited Sango to investigate. We all knew that Ryuji was just a scapegoat. You think the Takatsukasa clan wouldn't figure that out? They're not stupid. So, they were suspicious of the Kujo clan and invited Sango to take the case. However, the Kujo clan were still a step ahead and were able to remove themselves from the situation before the whole thing blew up. They drove Shiroyama to take all the blame as well as his own life. A perfectly clean cut for the Kujo clan. With Shiroyama dead, there was no one left to testify. Even the Electro Archon herself wouldn't be able to do anything.
You make up stuff faster than a politician. It's a wonder nobody's asked you to be an advisor yet.
Hey, that's their loss.
The whole thing is starting to sound complicated.
Hey, I brought the files. I bet you got quite an earful just now, huh? But don't believe everything they say. After all, people can tell you anything, and it's hard to separate truth from rumors. So what really matters is the case files. Everything laid out here is all that the police station has about the case. Please, take a look. Remember, you may find many clues during an investigation, but not all of them are useful. And in some cases, the clues you will find will not only be useless, but downright misleading. Also, if a clue cannot corroborate anything on its own, you can always compare it with other clues, and maybe then you'll find what you're looking for. Okay, that should just about do it. I'm looking forward to your results.
Hold on. What actually counts as a result?
Usually, you need to find two things from these clues: a proven motive and proven means. Once you can confirm these two things, the criminal can be proven guilty.
I understand.
All right, you can go ahead and get started now. I look forward to hearing your verdict.
Hey, Traveler. Investigating a case isn't so easy, is it? Don't worry. I'll tell you all you need to know.
About President Sango.
Huh, Sango? The Takatsukasa clan really hired an amazing detective, didn't they? She comes to the station to submit application to investigate the Ryuji case. But Heizo has always prevented her from doing so. I really didn't expect that she'd go as far as writing a complaint letter, though. Phew, she's relentless. As for why Heizo Senpai has been keeping her away from the case, I think he's afraid that Sango would be putting herself in danger. After all, we're talking about the murder of an important man. That can be deep water if you're not careful. Sango may run a detective agency, but in the end, she's just an ordinary person.
So, are they friends?
Well, not exactly. I've pretty much seen them argue every time they meet. But Heizo might still consider her as an old friend. I heard that he used to work with Sango. Sometimes he'd ask me to hand over less pressing cases to the detective agency. I guess he just wants to support Sango's business. Heizo Senpai is a good person, there's no doubt about that.
Don't take anything Uesugi says too seriously. Just nod along.
About Takakatsu Izumu and Ryuji.
Oh, that. Well, let me see. Ryuji saw Takatsukasa Isamu as his foster father, that's for sure. But I can't say whether Isamu helped Ryuji without expecting anything in return. After all, Isamu was a resourceful person. A simple and naive person like Ryuji wouldn't ever be suitable as an advisor, but he could certainly be a loyal and trustworthy aide. Isamu was expecting a child of his own later, but unfortunately, he was killed before the child was ever born. Anyway, enough about all that. Aren't you here to investigate the case? You'd better get a move on.
So, what did you find? Have you come to a conclusion? Sure. Let me know once you've made some progress. So, what did you find? Have you come to a conclusion?
I didn't even think I read anything. Nothing yet, I'll keep
Sure.
looking through the files.
Let me know once you've made some progress.
Ugh, it does look like I have to wrap all the hangout events up tomorrow night. But at least I've made some progress. The suspect Ryuji, 20 years old, Doshin, is a subordinate of the deceased Takukatsu Izumo. Ryuji grew to resent his boss, Takukatsu Izumo. Following conflict at work, he then secretly brought a bottle of poison to kill him in revenge. Unused poison was later found in the suspect Ryuji's house for the crime of premeditated murder. Ryuji is ordered to remain in temporary incarceration awaiting trial. This bottle should be kept as evidence. Signed, Kujo Sara.
Wow. Ryuji's conviction really was signed by Kujo Sara. But now we know she had it wrong.
The suspect Shiroyama, 22 years old, forensic doctor, a subordinate of the deceased Takukatsu Izuma. Shiroyama grew to resent his boss, Takukatsu Izumu. Following conflict at work, he then unused poison was later found in his office. In his testament, he confessed to having planted the poison found in Ryuji's house. For the crime of premeditated murder, Shiroyama is hereby sentenced to death punishment and cannot be carried out as the suspect ended his own life before the execution could take place. This file should be kept as evidence.
Huh. So Shiroyama's conviction was also signed by Kujo Sara, just like Ryuji's.
On the toxin that killed Takukatsu Izumu's death. An odorless, tasteless, inert substance, soluble in water, but insoluble in other substances. Has the properties of a synthetic toxin. It appears as a fine white powdery substance in its normal state. Tentative name, white powder. This station has investigated the ledgers of all domestic commerce guilds. No transaction record for such an item was found.
A synthetic toxin? What's that?
Yeah. It's blank, looks like someone tore out a few pages.
That's weird. There's nothing here. This must be some of the false information that Hazel told us to look out for.
The deceased Takukatsu Izuma, 41 years old, police station manager. Quote, intact at the time of death, no visible trauma observed on the body, no sign of struggle, the throat was congested and swollen. Uncirculation was found in the stomach and intestines caused by a novel toxin found in the stomach contents. Stomach contents include partially undigested soft rice residue, small volumes of fish liver paste residue, the main ingredient of which is highly concentrated fish liver extract, a valuable nutritional supplement. Small volume of cold medicine residue containing a large amount of acidic fruit and vegetable extracts. Appears to be a specially prepared medicine from the Office of Forensic Science. Small volume of novel toxin residue, which is found to be the same toxin discovered in the homes of Ryuji and Shiroyama. Cause of death, abnormal mucous membrane disease, plus respiratory and circulatory failure triggered by the novel toxin.
Yikes! He ate all kinds of stuff.
A note places Shiroyama's testament. After comparing the handwriting, it was confirmed to have been written by the deceased Tetsukasa. I forgot how to say your name, haven't I? Takukatsa. Man, I really have forgotten. My brain really just said, nope. Shiroyama, long time no see. I trust the thing I asked you for is in progress. I paid a visit to your home today while you weren't around. Thankfully, your wonderful wife welcomed me in. She's a fine woman, a perfect match for you. Your wife is 5 months pregnant, I believe. Fancy that, my wife too. I took the liberty of returning once more to provide her with some health supplements, even helped administer them to myself. She was more than grateful indeed. You'll be equally grateful to me, no doubt. Then don't keep me waiting.
Takatsukasa Isamu seems like a thoughtful person, but something about the tone sounds weird.
There's no cheating that was there? Oh my goodness. A week before the incident, Master Takakatsu caught a cold and lost his appetite. Rice was all he could eat, and he had been taking some special cold medicine. The night before the incident, he had yet to recover and was still busy with work, so I was worried about his health. When Dr. Shiroyama came to deliver the medicine, I consulted him about a health supplement. Dr. Shiroyama said fish liver paste could help boost his immune system, so I went to the forensic office to retrieve some and gave it to Master Takakatsu. But by the next day, really, Master Takakatsu was so kind to me, I swear I wouldn't ever do that to him.
Come to think of it, Shiroyama was a forensic doctor. He could easily pull off something like this.
Do I look like the type of person who needs that spelled out? I murdered Takakatsu Izuma. I poisoned his cold medicine. Though he appeared to be honest and honorable in public, in secret he asked me to search out a new type of poison to get rid of those who opposed him. He's also said that if I refused, he would throw me in prison, use my family to blackmail me. He left me with no choice. I killed him with a new type of poison that I had someone purchase for me at the International Trade Association. To protect myself, I later framed my colleague Ryuji. But now it's only a matter of time before the detective uncovers everything. I know that I've made a big mistake, and there's no escaping it now. Only death awaits me. I merely ask that my family be spared.
Hey, this is the key to proving that Shiroyama was the murderer, right? That is, if he was telling the truth, of course.
Well, that does look like everything. Autopsy, the message, conviction. Yeah, that's everything.
So, what did you find? Have you come to a conclusion?
Yes, I did.
Really? You found the criminal's motive and means that quickly? Awesome. Alright, let's talk about the motive first. What clue reveals the criminal's motive?
The clue that reveals the motive? Well, it would be Shiroyama's testament, because in the testament he talks about the motive.
Just Shiroyama's testament?
Huh?
Though it does have the confession of his motives, this alone is not enough. He could have been lying. We need evidence to prove what he said is true.
Oh. Oh, really? So then... well... both?
Although Shiroyama's testament contains the confession of his motive, Ryuji's testimony cannot prove it. Perhaps you should give it some more thought.
Wow. Well then, both of their tests... is it really going to be the conviction? I would think that the messages would be very important for the motive, because what...
Excellent work! According to the victim's message, the two had deep conflicts. Although we cannot confirm whether the poison had been requested by the victim or not, it is true that Isamu used Shiroyama's family to blackmail him, Yama to commit the crime.
You know what? At least I was on the right track.
But wasn't Takatsukasa Isamu good to Shiroyama? He even went to Shiroyama's house to bring health supplements. But maybe he didn't really bring health supplements. Maybe it was something bad.
Is that what you think, Paimon? Well, we later found out that what Takatsukasa Isamu sent to Shiroyama's house was indeed health supplements. But if you consider the circumstances, what he sent wasn't important. What was important is that sending the supplements was actually a dangerous signal. Isamu was essentially implying, I can put anything in your wife's supplements at any time. If you really care about her safety, then get me what I want.
So scary! Your assumption sounds like a real threat! You're not really that dark inside. Are you?
Oh, just be quiet.
You don't really catch criminals by standing in the light, do you? Basically, these two clues work to verify each other, and the murderer's motive is confirmed. Now, all that's left is the means of the crime. Next, which clue confirms the criminal's means? So, what did you find? Have you come to a conclusion?
Yes, I did. So well, hold on. The criminal's means. The means of how they did it? Because...
Bingo! The autopsy report confirms that the cause of death was a special toxin. The testament indicates that Shiroyama used his position as a forensic expert to mix the toxin into the cold medicine taken by the deceased.
I'm just gonna say it right now. If Heiso ends up getting like 2 episodes before he gets an ending, which would be the second episode is where he gets the ending, then I guess they're trying to make Hangout episodes longer.
But is that really the truth? Is it not possible that the toxin was mixed into the fish liver paste? Well, according to the toxicology report, this white powder only dissolves in water. Neither rice nor the fish liver paste could be used as a carrier of the toxin. The cold medicine was the only option. Putting the poison elsewhere would not only fail to guarantee a lethal dose, but would also increase the chance of it being noticed by the deceased. Therefore, the means is also confirmed.
Add that to the... So the murderer really was Shiroyama!
Yep, pretty clear cut, wouldn't you say? Look, I really don't know what Sango is so suspicious about.
Yeah, it's pretty clear cut. Huh. You could say it's almost too clear cut.
Wait, I still have some questions.
Oh? Well, let's hear them. Maybe I have answers. What's bugging you?
Yeah, why is that blank? Yeah, why is that blank?
This also puzzles me. Maybe someone doesn't want us being privy to the content inside, or maybe Shiroyama tore a bunch of pages out by accident.
Are there any words on any of these pages? Or just letters?
But
that are
regardless,
left?
this isn't essential to the case. Like I said before, a lot of what comes up in an investigation is irrelevant information. The crucial elements are Shiroyama's motive and means, which we have established.
Yeah, this is kind of important too.
Maybe the report was wrong. The International Trade Association is a gathering place for merchants from all over. Countless merchants pass through the port of Rito every day. It's natural for there to be a couple of missing records here or there.
Man, you gotta remember, every piece of information is still useful, no matter how small it is, or how unseemly it is.
Very nice. Top marks for attention to detail. It doesn't have any real bearing on the case, but let me explain how that works for you. So, why would Madame Kujo-Sara sign one conviction sentencing Ryuji to temporary incarceration awaiting trial, and another conviction sentencing Shiroyama to death? You may have heard some rumors back at the station that when this case first came up, the Kujo clan higher-ups were in dire need of a scapegoat to keep the Takatsukasa clan off their backs. And poor Ryuji became the successful candidate. In less than a week, the conviction was drafted, sent to Madame Kujo-Sara, and signed. Allegedly, she knew what it was about as soon as she saw it, and signed it with no questions asked. But anyone who buys this story clearly doesn't know that much about Madame Kujo-Sara. She's the most principled person in the entire Tenryo Commission, for goodness sake. So, how would she respond to a case filled with unanswered questions and no confession from the suspect?
Oh, you mean...
She changed Ryuji's conviction from the death sentence to temporary incarceration. Ryuji escaped a disastrous fate without ever realizing it. Had Madame Kujo-Sara not changed his sentence, Sango would have been seeking justice for a dead man.
Why was Sara so lenient with Ryuji?
That's the wrong question. This wasn't about Ryuji, but Madame Kujo-Sara's principles. The conviction could have been for a Ryuji, a Guji, heck, even a Tanuki, and she would have made the same decision. Given the enormous pressure she was under at the time, I'd say she did the most she could. Don't you think?
Pressure? Really? Was someone higher up putting pressure on Sarah?
The pressure came from all sides. The deceased was the leader of the police station and the rising star of the Takatsukasa clan. All eyes were on this case. How this became reduced to the unimaginative rumor that Madame Kujo Sara convicted Ryuji under pressure from her superiors, I have no idea.
Ugh. Rumors here, conspiracy theories there. Lies at every turn.
Fortunately, Madame Kujo Sara works in an open and transparent manner, and pays no heed to rumors like this.
How do you know?
She just rolls her eyes and forgets all about them.
Haizu's hangout event is long because he's a detective, and you can expect stuff like that to go very long. Or hangout events are actually just really long now, starting with him. Wow.
Believe me, in this case, more than any other, I have checked every last detail.
I expected to be in only one episode with him that was going to be close to an hour to get an ending. I'm gone past an hour. And fucking Share Factory on PS4 doesn't let you put more in there. But I wouldn't make an hour-and-a-half video for this, for one ending anyway.
Well, I've answered all your lingering questions, and you've checked all the material the police station has, so... what do you think? Case closed?
Paimon still feels like something doesn't add up. But then again, Hazel did give us all the files the police station had. Ugh, this is annoying.
We've seen everything that the police station has. Now I see the problem.
I don't follow. Enlighten me.
At the detective agency, you told Sango I've disclosed everything the police station has on the case. When we started to look at the files, you said to us, everything laid out here is all that the police station has about the case. Just now you said it again. You've checked the material the police station has.
Huh, right. Why do you keep emphasizing police station every single time?
You tell me. Why do I keep emphasizing police station every time?
Because you're trying to hint that there is other information that the police station doesn't have.
So we're finally here, huh? I was starting to think our investigation was about to end a little early. That would have been a real shame. Man alive, you finally saw through my little game. You're absolutely right. There is other information that the police station doesn't have. Reason being? It's my own evidence. And this evidence should help answer a couple of your questions more clearly. Why was the research log from the Office of Forensic Science blank? And where did the white powder come from?
Aha! Paimon knew you were keeping secrets.
Quiet.
Don't you have secrets too?
No. Nope. Definitely not.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk somewhere else. This isn't the best place for this discussion.
God, this is so long. I can't believe how long this hangout is. I honestly thought that I would just be left with getting the final endings for Shinobu and Aisho on a different day, but the way this is going, it looks like I'll be getting their other endings, their 4 other endings, on a different day. Well, it's 3 endings, not 4.
This is a quiet spot. Let's talk here. All right. Here's the secret I've been keeping all along. The torn out pages from the research log of the Office of Forensic Science.
Great! But Paimon can't believe you kept this a secret all this time!
Let the man talk and be quiet.
It's not like you think. I wasn't the one who tore out the pages. Look, just read it over first.
The sick nutrients extracted from the sensei were mixed with the oil extracted from the fish liver. When the mixture was purified, the formation of a fine powdery substance was observed. Over the course of a week, 4 spores to whom this substance had been administered suffered first from damage in diseased skin, mucous membranes, followed by respiratory failure, then death. The mixing and purification procedures was then repeated, by replacing the Sensei with concentrated Sensetia juice and fish liver with concentrated fish liver paste. A large quantity of the powdery substance was produced. When 4 spores were administered this dose, the time of death was reduced from 1 week to a few hours. See appendix for lethal dose analysis. Researcher Shiroyama.
Finished? Do you see now? The method used by the perpetrator to commit his crime wasn't by putting the white powder in the cold medicine.
He put it in the fish liver paste.
Oh, wait, what? Where'd you conjure that answer up from? Try again.
I got plenty of hearts, so... The cold medicine, the fish liver paste.
That's correct. The white powder was Shiroyama's invention.
I've done it before where I've done wrong answers to, just to show them, but also I stopped doing that when I did it with Barbara, because I found out that some of them just completely end the hangout immediately, and I didn't want to just keep doing one and it just ends the hangout. But he has plenty of options where you can just screw it up, and it won't end it immediately.
As a forensic doctor, he provided a special cold medicine for Takatsukasa Isamu. The autopsy report showed that this medicine contained a high volume of acidic fruit and vegetable extracts. Then, he tricked Ryuji into sending fish liver paste to Takatsukasa Isamu. When the 2 substances were taken together, a toxic dose of the substance formed in his body. This is the real
Expensive nutritional supplement. Both completely harmless.
True, both are harmless on their own, but when combined, poof, that's it.
Why didn't Shiroyama admit this in his testament? There was no need for him to hide it.
It was not him who wanted to hide it, but the person pulling the strings behind him.
Huh. You mean there was someone else pulling the strings?
Aren't you curious where I found these pages from the research log? It was in Kujo Takayuki's secret warehouse. After I found the missing pages, I did some digging around and found out that Shiroyama had worked for Kujo Takayuki before joining the police station. The Kujo clan secretly provided Shiroyama with funds to study forensic science. I guess you could say that Kujo Takayuki's investment paid dividends in this case. Of course, I had only learned all of this after the Vision Hunt decree came to an end. Kujo Takayuki had lost his grip on power, and the Tenryou Commission was undergoing a general reshuffle. To avoid coming under suspicion, Madame Kujo Sara put me in charge of building a case against Kujo Takayuki. I found a huge stash of fish liver paste in his secret warehouse. Nothing hugely incriminating about that, of course, but I still took the trouble to open each and every package until finally, I had to concede that this really was just a huge stash of fish liver paste. But then, underneath the floor tiles, where the fish liver paste was stacked, I found a secret compartment with this torn-off research report lying inside.
So it was him who wanted to frame Ryuji all along. What a nasty piece of work.
Let's review the whole case from the top. First, Takatsukasa Isamu, for whatever reason, noticed Shiroyama's talent as a forensic doctor and asked him to develop a special poison on his behalf. But Shiroyama was already working for the Kujo clan, so he refused. Takatsukasa Isamu wasn't about to take no for an answer, and that's where things took a dark turn. He twisted Shiroyama's arm by making a veiled threat to harm his family. All Shiroyama could do was to secretly report everything to Kujo Takayuki. When Takayuki learned what was happening, he instructed Shiroyama to pretend to cooperate with Takatsukasa Isamu, then kill the latter with the white powder once it was fully developed. Meanwhile, Ryuji's only role in this case was to deliver the fish liver paste to Takatsukasa Isamu on Shiroyama's orders, completely unaware of the fact that he was being used as a pawn and that this was a key ingredient needed to create the poison, until the death sentence was stalled when it reached Madame Kujo Sara. In the meantime, Sango had begun her own investigation. Kujo Takayuki grew nervous that the truth would get out, so he threw Shiroyama to the wolves, hounding him to death and erasing all traces of contact between the two. And yet, he wanted to keep this secret formula, so he hid it. Greedy guy, that Takayuki. He must have wanted to have it on hand just in case he needed to employ it again in the future, and make someone else disappear.
This Kujo Takayuki is an evil lunatic. we've gotta report this to A. Whatever his current punishment is, it needs to be 10 times worse!
That would be practically impossible. One research log found in his warehouse doesn't prove anything. Even I can think of 100 excuses. Besides, Ryuji directly contributed to Takatsukasa Isamu's death by delivering the fish liver paste to him. The fact that he was unaware of the true nature of the situation doesn't matter.
But he's still innocent, right? Isn't it just a coincidence? Paimon really doesn't get how the law works.
Legally speaking, the judge would most likely rule that it was accidental. But in practice, Ryuji may still have to end up shouldering some responsibility.
So basically, you've been hiding the truth all this time to protect Ryuji.
Mental trauma doesn't heal as easily as physical wounds. My biggest worry is that Ryuji would struggle to cope if he knew the truth. He's like an innocent child. He freely gives his trust and his love to everyone that treats him well. That's why he thought of Takatsukasa Isamu as a father figure. I'm pretty sure that to this day, he has never paused to wonder whether Takatsukasa Isamu was actually a good person, or if Sango just hired him as a gopher, or why I left the detective agency. If he found out the facts about Takatsukasa Isamu, I'm afraid it would crush him.
So why are you revealing the truth to me today?
Well, as you can see, I'm a little less confident than people might think. To prevent Ryuji from getting hurt, I covered up the truth. But by doing so, have I held him back? Did I do the right thing? I couldn't turn to anyone for help, and everyone around me thinks I'm so smart, that I should just be able to handle every case on my own. Even if I tried to discuss it with them, they'd just say, "Don't be ridiculous, Mr. Hazo, no problem's too difficult for you." But you're different. Unlike them, you don't have that kind of prejudice towards me. You've traveled far and wide and have had all kinds of experiences. It must have taught that you're someone special, that I can trust you and that you can help me. Right? So, I'd like you to be the one to decide whether we should expose the truth or not.
I need to think about that.
Oh, you don't need to tell me what you decide, and you certainly don't need to decide right now. Let's just say I'm leaving this teensy tiny matter up to you. All right, let's head back to the detective agency. You can mull it over on the way. Once you've made up your mind, just tell Ryuji and Sango your verdict.
Hey, Traveler. Hey, Detective Hazo. You're back already, huh? I bet you're tired. Well, I just bought some tonkatsu. Care to join me? There's plenty for everyone.
We'd love to. But wouldn't you like to hear the results of our investigation first?
No matter what you were able to find, it's all in the past and won't ever change. So I think we'd better chow down first. Besides, if Sango's not happy with the results, we might not have anything to eat later.
Come on, Ryuji, pipe down. Let's hear the Traveler's conclusion first.
Okay then. Over to you, Hazo and Traveler.
Don't worry, just tell us your findings. Everyone trusts you, as do I.
Detective Haisho hid some evidence. The truth of the matter is...
But how? How could this be?
Huh. So, that's what really happened?
Ryuji, I know it's hard to accept, but...
Wait a minute. Sorry, I have quite the stomach ache. Sango, can I take the day off?
Sure, of course. Take the week if you need it.
Oh, Paimon hopes Ryuji will be okay.
I didn't expect things to turn out like this.
Just give him some time to himself. I think he'll eventually come to accept it.
I'm still a little worried, though. What if he doesn't come to work tomorrow?
Then we'll go to him. Don't you worry about that, Sango. You need some time to process all of this, too.
I'm at a loss for words right now. Please, just leave me be.
think it said 9 to 12. Shit. I think it said 9 to 12. Oh, it said 8 to 12. Fuck. Come on now.
Ah, you're here. Don't worry. Ryuji came earlier this morning. I guess he can handle a lot more than I had thought. I was honestly worried he'd suffer a breakdown. But as of today, it seems he'll be fine.
Is he not here?
He went over to Natsuke Nogen Crafts to buy something.
Let's go find him then. Shall we?
Before you go, Heizo, I kind of understand now what you meant when you left.
Oh, really? I'm happy to hear you say that. All right, time to find Ryuji.
Wait, aren't you going to say Ryuji?
What did Heiso say to you when he left the agency?
Huh. Now that I think about it, it's like a slap in the face. He said, some things will always be more important than the truth.
Heiso's a pretty good guy. Who's this?
Look! There's Ryuji! With a little kid, too!
Oh.
Is he buying our toys?
Oh. Oh, don't make me cry now.
Uncle Ryuji, was my daddy handsome? I've never seen what he looked like.
Oh, don't make me sad now.
Of course. Takatsukasa Isamu was a very handsome man. Also, it's not uncle. Call me brother.
But you look so old.
Well,
Huh? Who are you guys?
We're friends with your big brother Ryuji, and with your father too.
Oh, really? Yay! I've met loads of my daddy's friends today. Can you tell me some stories about him? I really want to hear them.
Sure. Why, I know enough stories about your old man that if I started talking now, you'd be all grown up before I finished them.
Wow, that's amazing! Well, I don't want to grow up too soon then. Maybe when I'm 100. No, 200 years old. No, 300 years old. Yep, I'm gonna wait until I'm 300 years old before I become a grown-up, so that I can make sure I finish all the stories first.
Aww. It took a long ass time to get a fucking ending for this guy. But, oh my god, you know what? We haven't completely finished him yet. But I'm gonna say it right now. His story quest is actually the best one in the game. Like, his hangout is actually the best in the game. I'm serious when I say it. It's actually that good. The whole story. I liked my little detective stuff after playing Danganronpa and things like that. That's why I think I'm gonna really love playing Trails to Zero and Azure, because you know you play as a detective throughout that one. It's like, this is just so good, and Aisho's a really great guy, and this story was just so good.
hey, traveler. You're back already?
We'd love to.
No
Alright,
matter
now
what you
time
were
to get
able
the
to
other
find,
ending.
it's all
Like
in the
I
past and won't ever
no
change.
matter how long it is,
So
I'm
I
still
think we
doing
better
2
chow
endings.
down. Besides, if
Come on, Ryuji, pipe down. Let's hear the
Don't worry, just
Sanko was wrong about Haisho, and the murderer was indeed Shiroyama.
well, what do you know? I suspected that was the case. Please rest in peace, Master Takatsukasa.
No, impossible. Traveler, are you sure you checked every last file carefully?
Trust me, I did.
Did you?
Songo, no accusations without evidence, remember?
the truth is out and the case is closed, Sango. Please don't send any more of your harassment letters to the Tenryo Commission. Well, I really owe it to you, Traveler. I'll be sure to properly thank you later. Until then, see ya.
Hey, you're not going anywhere.
Shit, she gonna beat him with a broom. Wait, is Lumine doing more than just a normal smile? I thought she was doing the... Hold on, I just really want to look at that one. My god, it takes so long to get to these. Damn memories. Oh, if I want to look full screen, I'll have to do it on my PlayStation myself later. Well, that was our...
Please speak to President
I can't say first episode on him because it took 2. So that was our 2 episodes of him, which is just basically my first half of doing Haizo's story stuff. And our little introduction to him and all his things it's really good. I really like this character actually. He may be one of my top favorite male characters in the game, if not, you know, it's actually hard to say if he is the best because Max Mittelman does so great with Ito. And Zhongli is also really great. Haizo is definitely one of my top 3 male characters in this game. Now, I'm gonna see if maybe I can try to get the 2 endings with Kuki Shinobu that I want to get.